This is Diane, the Be a Blessing Stitcher, and if you have landed on my channel today, this is a channel that's primarily about cross stitch, maybe a tiny bit of quilting, sewing-ish things. I also do like to paper craft. I haven't done much of that in a long time, and I do crochet. Used to do a lot of crochet until I started having a little trouble with my hands, so now I don't do as much, but I've landed on cross stitch, and I love cross stitch. Kind of have a bit of an obsession with cross stitch, and so that's what my channel is about. If you are returning, thank you guys so much for coming back time after time to visit with me, have a little chat, and for anybody new, welcome in. Grab a cup of coffee, something to drink. I just have my water. Click. And just sit down and enjoy a little time of sharing and maybe some stitching. Hopefully you can get some stitching in. It's been about a month, maybe a little more, since my last video, and I never can remember to say what Flosstube this is, so I'll put it down in the description box. Today is still June. We're June 29 today, so I snuck one in yet this month. I'm trying to do one every month. I have some things that I need to share, some FFOs, some finishes, and then of course always the whips and the haul and the plans and all the good stuff. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Okay, my very first thing that I think I'm gonna share with you guys are some previous finishes that I had done for 4th of July. I actually have the most stitched pieces for 4th of July in my house than for any other season, even more than Christmas, because for Christmas, I already had a really large supply of decor. So I never felt the need to get as much Christmas stuff done. I had very little for 4th of July, so I really focused on that for a year or two, and so I've got quite a few things. One of the first things I'm going to show you is, and I'm going to really struggle to remember the name of this. Yeah, Freedom Row, I'm going to link everything, guys. But anyway, I made it into a drum. And this so far is my one and only claim to fame to a drum. I love it so much. And I will do another drum again sometime in the future. I don't know how soon, but I do really love pulling this out every year. And this one was made with the help of one of my good friends, Tammy, who has her own YouTube channel. It's called Woodland Stitching Studio. So go check her out. She did some finishing for a while until she started having some issues with her hands as well. Kind of an ongoing theme with us crafters, right? But anyway, she helped me finish it. She didn't finish it for me, but she did walk me through the entire process. And I love it, love it. So I'm gonna link all of the patterns and everything, because I'm not gonna be able to remember the names of everything that I've done. And I wanna say that's by Primrose Cottage, but that could be wrong too. The next one is just a couple of little pillows that I made. These were by Emily Call, and I did these a couple of years ago also. And I just finished them the same in the back, put a little bit of chenille on them. And I love pulling both of those out every year too. Get a little bit closer to each one. I changed the colors a smidge on this because one of these flowers on each of them, where is it on this one? I think it was this one, was exactly the same color as the fabric. And so I had to switch the color out just a little bit so it would show up. But they're super fun, the cute flags on the bottom. Those were so fun to stitch. And I love adding them to my decor. And then the last one I'm going to show you for now is one that I did with Nichol Spohr. She did a stitch along maybe just a year ago, and she was teaching biscornus, and she had the idea to stack a couple of them. She used a pattern from Kathy from Hands On Design, Kathy Haberman, and adapted a pattern that was not meant to be a biscornu, and she showed us how to do that. So go check out Nicole's channel. But I did stack mine. I made 2 of them, and they just simply stack on top of each other. And I stitched a little something on the bottom, and then I use the pins to kind of tuck them in together and hold them in place. So that's my little biscornu stack. I did one of them, I think I did one in a 40 count. I was gonna do 32, 36, 40, and then there wasn't enough difference between the 36 and the 32. So I think I've got the bottom one done in a 32 count and the top one done, I think, in a 40. And again, I'll link those patterns, and I'll maybe link Nichols' channel too, or maybe that episode if I can. I'm not sure if I can do that. So those were my previous finishes prior to this video. And then I have a couple others that I did get done. I talked with you guys last time about my One Nation. I'm gonna have to push things off to the side a little bit because this one's big, which is exactly what I wanted. So I ended up taking it to Michael's to have it done because I did go to Hobby Lobby first, and they didn't have quite as much selection as far as frames go. And I liked what I could do at Michael's a little better. I did agree to do the lacing. So she cut the foam board for me and sent me home with that so I could lace it. And then they ordered the frame, and then when the frame was in, they called me and they popped it in for me. And oh guys, I don't even know if I can't see me now. Maybe if I angle it, I can't tell what I'm saying. Anyway, this is my finish. I'll get back as far as I can. I'm hoping that that's in frame. So I'll hold it for a second, but oh, that's working out my little stomach muscles that haven't really been used in a while. So that was my One Nation. I'm really super happy with it. I don't know if you could see it, but the frame is actually navy. And it fits exactly the way that I wanted it to fit. That pattern is called One Nation by Bygone Stitches, and I stitched it on 28 count Lugana 2/2. I think the color was called Haunted, and the Lugana really was kind of a dream for me to stitch on. I don't usually like 2 threads. I think I pulled my own threads. If you guys want to know what I used, I'll be happy to share that. Maybe I'll toss that in the chart notes if I remember. I'm sorry if I don't, but I'll try to remember to put the colors in there as well, the colors that I used. So that was one. I splurged and I got 2 frames. I probably won't do that again for a while because painful. But the other one that I had finished was Dasher and Dancer by Hobby House Needleworks. I don't recall anymore what fabric this one was on, but I know I've shared it before on my channel, what fabric I was stitching this one on. And this one I splurged and I did a fillet on it. Nothing was popping for me. And then I had my sister with me who's got amazing taste, amazing. And she pulled off a red fillet off of the wall, and I just went, oh, that's it. So and I have to apologize because they put it into the frame and they put the backing on it before I could check it, and it's a little crooked. So I'm gonna have to pull the backing paper back off again and kind of reposition because it's laced. And so I know that I can reposition it. But here is my Dasher and my Dancer. And I love it so much, you guys. I just love it. It's just so fun to finally have your finishes, your stitches enclosed and completed and ready to go, and to not really have had to do it yourself. Although I laced it, and you guys, between the One Nation and this one, that One Nation, I think I probably spent close to 4 hours lacing the 2 pieces. Worth it though, worth it. And I think I saved money by doing that as well, because they didn't lace, all that they did was pin. And I didn't quite trust, the pinning process gives you no wiggle room, none. And like even the One Nation, when I got it home, there were a couple of lines that were just a little, not bad, but just a little bit like this, and I could just kind of smooth. Bingo, done. And they were nice and straight. So I like lacing better than I like pinning, because pinning doesn't really give you a whole lot of wiggle. I like a little wiggle. Okay, then I talked to you guys last time about how I've been working my way through a year of celebrations 2, and by, again, hands-on design. And I'm trying to remember if that was the right season 2, I think, because she's got year 1 or she's got season 1 and season 2, both called a year of celebration. This one is season 2. And I was struggling with my 4th of July one because the colors that were called for they matched the rest of them very well, but I displayed them individually, and I really wanted something that looked like my patriotic decor. And so I had to change the colors, which sometimes is successful for me and sometimes not, but I got it finished. It's not FFO'd yet, but I just finished it the other day, and there's my finish. And I'm really super happy with how it turned out. I didn't really change the pattern much, except for she had lots of little confetti things going on in here, and I wanted these to kind of look like fireworks, and I didn't want, I tried putting some down in there, it didn't look right, so I just left those off. So I didn't really change it too much, just mostly changed the colors. So I'm really happy with that one, and hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to get that one finished before July, but I should be able to finish it in the next week or so, and so it'll get to sit up for most of July. And then I have August already done, September's already stitched, but I have to finish it, and then I have to buckle down and do October, November, December. January is stitched but not finished, and then I have to do February, and then I'm finished with them. So I really only have 4 more to stitch. And they really go pretty fast. You know, if I'm not messing with anything, I can get them done in a couple of days, maybe 3. Depends on how much time I have to stitch them. So it's that FFOing that, yeah, still not my favorite. And then I have one more big finish, you guys, and this one just means so much to me. This one I was stitching in memory of my husband, and I didn't iron it yet. I'm sorry, guys. I did put it on my board so you could see it a little bit better. This one is Teresa Kogut's Remember Me, and I pretty much stitched it in the called for colors. Shocker, right? And I got it finished. And instead of a date at the bottom, I need a pointer like what Catherine has on Floss, Paper, Scissors. I changed this. Instead of a date, I put his initials in there. And then instead of an alphabet in here, I added a Bible verse that we have on our tombstone. One that was really hugely important to him and important to me for kind of different reasons. He loved it because he was a trackster all his life, was a runner, so he loves the last part of it. Try not to choke up. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And I like the beginning where it says, since we are surrounded, sorry. Since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, which just makes me feel like I'm not alone. Sorry. So anyway, this one means the world to me. I can't thank Teresa Kogut enough for such a beautiful stitch. I love it so much. So anyway, I think I found a frame that I'm gonna put on it. It was one I had found in my stash, but it had been painted this hideous gold color. So I'm in the process of revamping that a little bit. I ordered a little bit of, so I spray painted it brown, and then I dry brushed some black on top of it. And now I'm waiting for a little bit of a rub and buff in gold, like an antique gold, to kind of rub across the top areas of it. So I'm hoping to be able to get that done and maybe have that one fully finished for you guys next time. Okay, done crying, I think. If you guys know me, you know that I tear up easy. I do go pretty easy. Oh, so here, I did take the frame over. So this is the frame. And so I am messing with it yet. It's really quite a pretty frame, but I just feel like it needs a little gold, like run across some of the beading, not all of it, just kind of here and there and on the side. It's got some really pretty detail. So I think it'll fit pretty well. It's not an exact match, but I think we're gonna make that one work. Okay, I think the next thing is going to be my whips. So what I have been working on Let me start with, sorry, I'm gonna have to shift and move in a little closer. Hi, puppy. Do you wanna say hi? Come here. Come on, baby. Come on up. Do you wanna say hi? You say hi. Oh, licks. Okay, that's enough licks, but say hi. Hi. You say hi to everybody. Yes, you're my good girl, ain't ya? This is Finley. She's my company. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. I started this one on the first of the year-ish because I cheated and started a couple of days before with my friends Jeannie and Leanne, the Loose Thread Stitchers, and then also my good friend Mary Beth. And we just decided to choose a Hawk Run Hollow pattern, period. And it didn't matter which one, but we were going to stitch a Hawk Run Hollow together. That was Jeannie's idea. And she chose to do the Farms of Hawk Run Hollow, and Leanne has chosen to do Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. And I chose to do Christmas along with my friend Mary Beth. So here is the Christmas pattern, but I'm not gonna do the bottom 3. I'm only doing the top 9. And the last time I talked to you guys, I was working on this square. And then I found out that Jeannie was catching me. Turns out I'm a little bit competitive, and I didn't want her to pass me up, so I had to hustle in and start working on it some more. So this is where I'm at right now, and I finished that square, and it was pretty full coverage. There was a lot. That night sky was brutal, that pond was kind of brutal, and I did change one color in here. The bridge color was weird. It looked green to me, and I really wanted something a little bit more brown, so I think I did change that color. But I'm stitching this one on that wonderful Lakeside linen, which is hard to find. This one is called Wood Smoke, Vintage Wood Smoke, which I asked over at the attic if they ever get that color in. And she said, I haven't seen that one in over a year. She said, I doubt that it's available anymore. It's such a pretty color, kind of sad. And I have gone to storing everything on scroll rods. And the reason I'm doing that is because it keeps them from wrinkling. And so I've kind of been in the process of purchasing more and more scroll rods. And my Arabesque ones that I love, that have the clamps on them, are really not available on Amazon anymore. They've stopped carrying them. I found them on Etsy, but the shipping was astronomical to get them here. And so I've started going more and more with, and also the biggest that they came was a 22 inch. Well, many of my projects need 24, 26, sometimes 30. So I started going back to American Dream, or I think they're called Easy Stitch, and they have a Velcro attached to the top of them. So all you have to do then is buy, sorry, I'm trying to keep my train of thought and talk at the same time. All you have to do is buy some adhesive strip Velcro that you put on the top of your, top and bottom of your stitch, and then they adhere to those. And so they're pretty easy to reposition. And yeah, they come in the longer sizes. And I found a place, because Amazon was still spendy. Like for getting some of the bigger sizes, they were $35, $40 per pair. And I'll put a link in there, but I found a shop where they were like only $20 or $25 a pair. So I thought that was a lot more reasonable. So I did pick up a couple more of those. I got 2 in the 24 and 2 in the 26. Because you can always use them a little bigger. It's hard to use them when they're a little smaller. So, and I still have quite a few Arabesques in the smaller sizes. So I don't always use some of the smaller 15-inch ones, but I do have a stash, because how they used to sell the Arabesques was you would order a small or a large or a custom, and you would get 3 scroll rods and then 2 stretcher bars in different sizes. And yeah, it's just kind of disappeared. So I'm quite sad about that, a little bit sad. Okay, then I didn't, after I finished my hands-on design year celebrations, I really floundered. I didn't know what I wanted to stitch on next. And I had Serenity started about a year ago, but I had just done the tiniest little bit. This is Serenity by Teresa Kogut. It's the most beautiful stitch, but it's big. And I didn't have scroll rods to fit it on. And I was trying to use a hoop with it, and it just really was not working for me. And it just kind of kept getting pushed to the side because it wasn't fun for me to pull out and stitch on it. So I had purchased some 30 inchers in the, what I told you, the Easy Dream, the Easy Stitch American Dream. And what I started doing was I just bought some ties, and that way I can kind of keep it together when I'm working on it. Oh, and of course I've got loose threads because if you know me, that's how I stitch. And I didn't do a whole lot on this one. I finished up the moth. I think there's one more little section that I have to fill in by one of these things here. And then I also started into the bird, but I had barely done anything on the moth yet. And so I stitched on this for a day, maybe 2 days, excuse me. And then, like I said, I just was unsettled. So here's that frame I was telling you about. So I put adhesive Velcro onto my pattern, and I just Velcro that to here. And I can adjust that and move that. And I love having them on scroll rods. That just makes, for me, that makes a world of difference. So there's my Serenity. Not very far, but it did get touched. So anything that got touched, right, gets to go into the, now I lost my little hair tie. And this is not rolling up quite right for me. So let me take a moment and get this correct. There we go. Okay, so that's Serenity. Oh, I meant to show you my project bags. And I'm so sorry, you guys, I don't really keep track of where I get them from. But this is the project bag that I have Serenity in. And I wish, oh, this one is by Wildberry Stitching. She has it on the back. Isn't that just the most gorgeous, fun, bright spring colors? I keep meaning to do this, and then I get to the end of my video and it's like, you completely forgot to show those again. Okay, so that was Serenity. My project bag for Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow has been abused because I have so much crammed into here. This is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. It's a little distorted, and it is a vinyl front. And I do have like 2 or 3 Hawk Run Hollow patterns stuffed in here along with all the DMC, which is a ton. So that's why that poor project bag has taken a hit. Okay, then the next one that I worked on, again, I only worked on it for like a day and then I was done, was Rejoice Evermore. And I started this one with my good friend Beth, the Red Cross Stitcher, on her birthday last year. This was her birthday start. And she's been smoking on it. She's gotten really a long ways, if not finished. And I had barely started. So I wanted to give that one a little attention because we her birthday was July, my birthday was August. We wanted to kind of both do a birthday start, so we started them kind of close together. Well, the one that meant the most to me, of course, was my Remember Me, which was my birthday start last year, and she started that one with me. And I wanted to finish that one. Oh, here's the bag. So this was a gift I gave her and to me, and I kitted up this for her. No, I didn't kit it up for her. She already had it kitted, but I put a couple of extra things in there. But the reason I loved this so much was because it says blessing in it. The fabric actually says blessing, and I thought, oh man, that's kind of perfect. And let me see, I think this one might be by So Much to Love. Yes, this is by So Much to Love. So that was such a pretty bag too. And where is my, this one was also on a Q-snap, and I didn't love that either. And so I took the time to actually put this one on scroll rods as well. And so here is my progress on Rejoice Evermore. I think I've got the whole border done. I do. But have a long ways to go yet. So really all that I was able to get done here was I filled in these 2 flowers. I put in these, I filled in some of this inside section along here. I only got up to there, and I stitched a little bit more on this flower. So like I said, I only worked on it for like a day, and I still have so much more. The next thing is going to be satin stitches in here. I'm kind of nervous and excited to try that. If it doesn't go well, we're going to do cross stitches. But I am anxious to give it a try. I've never tried satin stitches before, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so that was Rejoice Evermore. And did I show you? I showed you the bag. I'm trying to keep my ducks in a row, guys. They don't want to stay in a row. I keep trying to line them up. They don't stay. Okay, so that's that one. Two more to show you. This one is one I started. It's a new start for me since the last time that you saw me. My friend Mary Beth and I had talked in length about whether or not to start Jessie Chalinor. And in the end, we both decided that we loved it so much. And we're doing it in DMC though, not in silks, which has made it a little bit of a challenge for me to try to get the look of some of the different floss tubers I've seen stitching on it, because they're stitching it in silk. So trying to get the same look in DMC has been a little bit challenging, but getting there. So these are the colors, which are beautiful. They're so pretty. The colors in it are so pretty. And this one I'm doing in a bag that I got at the retreat. This is made from Feed Sack. And I cannot think of her name. I kept her card and everything. But it's such a beautiful bag. I love it so, so much. Of course, I love pink. So that's what's holding her. And I have the pattern to show you guys. And there's two colorways that you can do Jessie. One of them is brights. And I have to take that out of there. And one is faded, and I of course liked the faded better than I liked the brights. But this called for color around these flowers is really quite, in DMC, it's quite orange. And I didn't love the orange. So that's one of the things that I've been messing with changing. And she is still on a scroll rod. And this is her. This is how far I am on Jessie. And so I've changed this color to kind of a pink. And I changed the interior color also, but the other color I was fighting was down in here. This was a really bright teal, and it just felt so out of place to me. And so I messed and messed and messed with getting a color in there that I liked. And then also this A was done in a bright red, like an orangey red. And I wanted it to have a softer look. I really wanted it to have kind of a softer faded look. So messed around with that one a little bit too, which slows you down, but in the long run, it ends up being something you love. Also, I have never loved pink and blue next to each other, and they did that on this one, and they're doing it over here now. And I don't love this patchwork heart. Get in close so you guys can see that. So there's just a couple little things that I'm gonna tweak yet, because I just am not a huge fan. So this is the Arabesca, and I have found that these spreader bars work with the American Dream as well, but you have to have different knobs because the Arabesca has a much thicker screw on the end. So as long as you have some spreader bars that you like, I just use the same spreader bars over and over, and I just change out the knobs. And that has worked so well for me. So I am in the process of getting a pretty large collection of scroll rods. And eventually I think all of my stitches will be on scroll rods, except for the teeny tiny ones. I probably won't do those. Okay, the next one, oh, starting to get stiff, sitting on the floor. It's hard on a 60-some-year-old lady. My friend Beth, the Red Cross Stitcher, and I, for the 4th of July, are gonna start Let Freedom Ring. and we are insane. I told her I have no business starting something big, but are we gonna start it anyway? Yes, yes we are. And when I'm doing a new start, I really like to have things all kitted up. Like I like to have all my flosses on floss drops, and I like to have 1 or 2 stitches started so that I know the fabric I'm using and I know where it's centered and ready to go. So I did that the other day. I put in a few stitches, and I had chosen Weeks Dye Works. Weeks, I think this might be called Linen is the color. And I have a lot of threads hanging here, you guys, so pardon me, because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep on using this linen. This is what I've started on. I just started doing that little scroll at the very top there, but look how thin this linen is. It's so incredibly thin. So I need advice, you guys. Have you ever stitched on linen that's this thin before? I always put like 1 layer of batting behind most of my stitches when I finish them, and I don't usually put a glass over top of them. So I'm thinking this is what the batting would look like behind it. So I'm thinking it will be okay, but I would love your input. If you guys would tell me what your thoughts are there, that would be wonderful. And let me know if I should keep going on that one or if I should change it out. I have some sugar and cream in my stash that's big enough for me to do this on. And so that's a potential change that I could make. So I just am not quite sure. I don't want to use sugar and cream for this. I wanted it to have a little bit of a tan look to it. So I'm not sure. I'm still thinking on that one. Okay, and that's really it for my whips, guys. It seems kind of pathetic now that I look back on a whole month worth of... Is that pathetic? Anyway, it is what it is, right? You guys told me not to compare myself to other people and to just show what I have, so that's what I'm going to try to do. You were so incredibly kind and wonderful to me with all your comments about encouraging me to keep going. And one particular viewer, and I should have written her name down, gave me just the best advice. And she said, think back on why you started your videos in the first place. Why did you start your channel? And she said, are those things still true? And one of them was, I love this community so much and I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to have a place where I could share the things that I'm working on. I used to share with my poor hubby, and he'd go, oh yeah, that's nice. Poor guy, because he's done that all his life. He had to always kind of go with whatever craft I was working on, and he always commented that it was really nice, but it's not the same as sharing it with friends, and I feel like that's what you guys are. I feel like you're my friends. And anyway, so I wanted to share it, but then I also wanted to share my faith a little bit with you guys. And I'm hoping, without being like hitting you over the head with it, that I can show it through the love that I have for others. And so those still remain 2 important goals in my life. So she's right. Those things haven't changed. So regardless of how I feel like I'm not keeping up with the Joneses or whatever, like I'm not as good as somebody else, I'm not quite as prolific, I don't get as much done, those 2 factors still remain true. And so I'm going to keep going. And I just wanted to thank you for all the incredibly lovely and wonderful comments that you guys left me. You really blessed my heart. You really blessed my heart. Okay, that's it for my whips. So let's go into haul, I think, next. Oh, I forgot to show you one other thing. This will go toward my plans. We'll just move him from one pile to another. Okay, and I gotta put this back so I don't lose my place. Okay, so for haul, I am trying hard to keep them somewhat organized. As far as the patterns that I purchased, let me start with those, and then also a big purchase that I did make was I have been to a couple of stitching outings lately. One of them was the retreat at Welcome Stitchery, and one of them was just at Osage at Stitchery Nook. And really am struggling trying to find a tabletop version of how to stitch. I have a Patoki. I'm thinking about selling it because I have never found a good way to use it. Because I use scroll rods, it's hard to use the Patoki. They're just too long. So what I ended up doing was I ordered, whoops, come back here. Run away. I got a little mini Lowry stand. And I bought this one from the Tinsmith's wife, but because mostly she sold all the parts together in one section. From like Stephanie Webb from her website, Lindy Stitches, she sells Lowry's also, but you would have to buy this plate, then you would have to buy this piece that comes with this little small rod, and then this piece all separate. And it wasn't any less expensive to do it through the Tinsmith's wife. Oh, that's hard to say. But Stephanie was out of a couple of pieces. She was out of one particular piece, and I didn't know when she was going to get it back in. So I just went ahead and ordered the whole thing together. And I also have coming, it's a light bracket that sticks out, and it's got two places where you can hook things in. I have a light bracket on my full-size Lowry stand, and I tried it on my tabletop and it doesn't tip. So I'm getting a light bracket. I have an extra light that will go in there, and the other thing I put in there is a tablet holder, and that will probably go in there as well. And then it's just kind of all in one. So I'm really excited. I get to try that out soon. So that was one of my biggest purchases. And then I just went a little crazy. I'm still kind of in the process of the crazy, but here's just some of the new patterns that I purchased. I was either influenced by somebody's video or by something that I saw on Instagram or possibly Facebook. So this is one patriotic that I thought was just beautiful by Heartstring Samplery, Sweet Land of Liberty. I liked the fact for once there was no flag, because I tend to always gravitate toward flags. And everything I have for patriotic has a flag in it. So I liked the fact that it was poppy and it didn't necessarily have the flag. I did get several other patriotic stitches. This one I fell in love with by Samplers and Primitives. It's called Patriotic Bouquet. Try to get that without a glare. And I probably won't stitch the edging, the corners on it. I would just stitch the middle piece. But holy cows, I went to kit this up the other day. This is page 1 of page 2 of the flosses. There's another few more on another page. And that stalled me out. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not ready to pull all those flosses, and I'm not ready for all those color changes. Because actually, believe it or not, Jessie Chalinor has a fair amount of color changes in the roses. It was wonderful to get to the middle flowers, because then I could kind of do some blocks of color. But in the flowers, in the beginning there, lots of color changes. Then this one I saw, this one is by Sweet Wing Studio. Make sure I don't have anything by the chart. I saw this one finished. I think it might have been on Nichol Spohr's Facebook group, and she had done it up with a white frame. It was so pretty. And I love that it has like a gospel song, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. So anyway, I got that one, just a PDF in that one. I have been wanting this one forever. I keep saying no, because there's other things. Well, I broke down and I finally got it. By Brenda Gervais, Liberty. You know what, can't really see that one, can ya? Let's crack that puppy open. Here we go. I have loved that one for a long time too. And these are loosely part of my plans for our 250th celebration for next year. It's one of the reasons I purchased quite a few extra 4th of July patterns, is because I want to be able to have more to add to my stash next year. I'm feeling really good about what I have, but there's always room for more. There's always room for more. Sorry for the crinkles here, guys. I'm trying to take these out of the pattern. This one was from Crafty Bluebonnet, and I think I saw this on Mrs. Jones Stitches. Yes, on her Instagram. She finished these, and they were beautiful, and she finished hers with Tilda Fabrics. You got to go check out her Instagram account because they were so pretty. So this was 1776. This one was America. I'm trying not to take it out of the... And then there's one more called Liberty, which was out of stock from the person I was ordering from. So I didn't get that one yet. I'm sure it's going to land in my library. We have our library, right? So I'm sure it's going to land in that library at one point or another. Now, is that all that I have for patriotic? Let me double check. I think so. Okay. Then I'm so easily influenced, you guys. Are you like that too? Whew. I have no willpower, like zero. I need to work on that. Okay, you help me, right? You'll help me, okay. My friend Mary Beth was watching Welcome Stitchery's Flosstube, and Shelly had been working on something called Rose Quaker. Where else did I see this done as well? I saw it one other place too. And they talked about it because she showed it. And it's just so, so pretty. And she's like, I don't know, I think I really want to do that one. And I'm of course, well, yeah, let's do it. So I got Rose Quaker. And I just ordered a PDF because I do mostly stitch off my iPad. Well, completely. That's all I stitch off of is my iPad. So it's easier to have a PDF. This one was by Stickadine van der... Weinberg? Stickdien van der Weinberg. Let me get up close for you because I had to go to their website to get it. And I don't know if they had an Etsy shop. And they create a PDF just for you. As you saw, it has my name. It's created just for me. So it's not an instant. You don't get it immediately. It takes them a day or two sometimes to actually get that PDF to your inbox. So I have no plans to start that one anytime soon, but it's in my library. I have it now. Okay, then I want to do some strawberries. I've never made a strawberry. I keep seeing how terribly easy they are. And so I saw this by Birdsong. It's by Erica Michaels. It's called Birdsong Berries, and it's birds. A finch, and then I don't know what the other two are. But I was very drawn to the finch. And so I picked that one up. Again, I don't have any plans to start it anytime soon. And then when I was at Osage at Stitchery Nook, I was telling the owner, Liz, that I really love Samplers Not Forgotten, and that some of those are hard to find. And she's like, I can get those all. And I went, really? So she got me some. I got Sweet Finch. Hers are just so, and they come as a kit with all the things. It's just so soft and so beautiful. I'm so absolutely in love with all of her kits that I'm starting to kind of collect them. Not stitch them, collect them. So anyway, that was one, and then the other one I picked up was, this one I've seen other people finish already. It's the hydrangea kit for this year, but it real fast became difficult to find. And so I picked that one up when I was there. Do I have one more? I already have a couple others that I've started. Okay, and then one more by Samplers Not Forgotten. Oh, I think this is so pretty too. It's a rose basket. It's a little bigger, but it's got a couple of smalls in there too. I don't know if you can see that without the glare. So pretty. Do you see a rose theme going here? A little bit. And then I was watching the Addicts Flosstube. I really should stop watching Flosstube, right? That would probably save me a ton of money. And they were interviewing, is it Tara Brockmeyer? Tara, from the Scarlet House. And she was showing her new releases. And you guys, this does not show it. You gotta go watch the Addicts video with her because it doesn't do it justice. But I picked up this new release. And the reds on there are just brilliant. They look like a pinkish red. Imagine that. And here they look burgundy, but in the colors on the model, it was so brilliant and so pretty. So I picked that one up. And then I fell into another Dimensions kit. One of these times I'll do a Dimensions kit run through. But I picked up this one. I don't know why I have such a love for these. I never get them finished. I have 2 of them right now that are in my whips, and they're close. I just need to pick them up and do them. Then the last thing I'm gonna show for pattern haul is there's a shop hop going on between Welcome Stitchery, Stitchery Nook, and Shanty Stitchers. Stitchery Nook is in Osage, Iowa. Welcome Stitchery is in Blue Earth, Minnesota, and Shanty Stitchers is in Beersford, South Dakota. And I'm kind of sort of close to them. And so I happened to hit Blue Earth on my way to Stitchery Nook in Osage one weekend. And I got this, they're releasing, each shop will release a third of the pattern to you. And it's done by Blue Ridge Design. It's so pretty. That's the pattern. And I think that when it's, I gotta get down lower. I think that when it's over, you can purchase the pattern if you love it. But it's free if you manage to hit it between June and August. So I need the last third. I have 2 out of 3 done. And then I think they also put your name in a drawing if you get like a little passport, and they punch your passport once you've been there. And then you go into a drawing, which is kind of cool. So anyway, that was my last. And I really want to stitch this too, but yeah, I want to stitch everything. I didn't get very much fabric this last time because I really have a lot. But I've been watching a couple of Flosstubers who are encouraging me to go to 46. So I did pick up, oh, this isn't even 46, this is 56. This is by Fox and Rabbit Dust Bunny. And I got a little small piece of 56. I don't know if the color is gonna come across. It's almost like a taupey pink color. It's not super pink. It's got almost like a taupe look to it. It's really pretty. So I got a piece of 56. I don't know if I have any 56. That might be my very first piece of 56. And Liz doesn't carry a ton of 56, just little bits and pieces here and there. And then I also picked up some 46. This is Heirloom by Needlebling. Just kind of trying to round out my stash a little bit. Let's see if I can get the color to show there. If I can get in the shadows, it's a little better. It's just a beautiful, lightly mottled tan color. And that's in 46. And then for other fabric, I belong to Evertote's, I want to say it's fabric of the month, but it's fabric of the every other month is how it comes. And this month it was called Careless Khaki. And it's a beautiful color, and I am in the 40 count. Oh, it's a beautiful green, and I do love green, you guys. That's pretty close. It might even be a smidge darker than that, but it's such a pretty color. And I believe these are all available or will be available. These are not like exclusive colors or anything like that. Okay, I think that might be it for my fabric. I really had some pretty good willpower when it came to fabric this last time. And then there were a couple of girls on Instagram that were selling their project bags, and I couldn't resist either one. And I still just about jumped in and got more. But this first one is by Starry Owl Stitchery. Who's the second one by? They look close. The other's by Wildberry Stitching. This is Starry Owl Stitchery in a patchwork design. Oh, I just thought the colors were so pretty. They're so patriotic, and with me starting a lot of new patriotic patterns, a lot of them might just live in here. I might put multiple projects in just that one. This one is by Wildberry Stitching, and it's just got some really pretty fun spring colors to it. And I love a good patchwork. I want to make these. I have fabric. I want to make these. Speaking of fabric, oh, let's jump into my one big crazy purchase that I made. I have been wanting to learn to quilt for quite a while. And both Jeannie and Leanne are quilters. Like, that was like their first love, quilting. And then cross stitch came second. And so they always encourage me, and we talk about quilting tips and tricks sometimes. But I was watching Jamie, I think of her first name, on Heartland Quilts and Stitches, Heartland Stitchery, Jamie and her mom, and I can't think of her first name, but they were showing this kit for a patriotic quilt called Sparklers. Yep, I sure did. I bought the quilt kit. Beth, Red Cross Stitcher, you'll be so proud of me. I will be SOSing you. Beth is a prolific quilter. She's very talented. So I may need some assistance down the road, but anyway, I'm gonna give that a try. That might be more of a winter project for me. My sewing stuff is all in the basement, and I don't love spending time down there in the summer when it's sunny out and the sun, when it's just the sun is shining and it's beautiful. Although we had a scare last night. We had a thunderstorm come through. I, of course, slept through the whole thing. And I got up and I looked outside, and my plants on one side of the house were like flattened. Like, we got over 2 inches of rain, and it must have come down hard and fast. I didn't hear any of this. And then I went and looked out in my patio, and it's a screened in porch. 2 of the panels, and they lock together. There's like, each section has 4 panels, and they lock together. 2 of them had popped up out of their tracks, and they were still all attached, but 2 of them had dislodged from the track and were sitting kittywampus. So we must have had a weird kind of a little gust come through, because they were the ones closest to my house that never get any wind, and they popped them up out of the track. So, and I don't see damage anywhere else, but we had a little storm. Yes, we did. Okay, so I'm getting close, you guys. From the Facebook Destash group, there's a gal there that sells pins, like counting pins, and she sells needle minders and scissors fobs and things like that. And I've purchased from her a few things in the past, and I fell in love with this set when I saw it. It is just a very vintage looking, and I will find her name. Oh, let's not look at my arm. Ooh, ugh. Can I edit that out? I'll just fuzzy that out. Okay, it's really beautiful though. I don't know if we can get it close enough to show you guys. So this is like a scissors fob, or it could be a zipper pull, and then there's a needle minder that matches. And then this is a beautiful hanging counting pin. You can't really see it very well, but it's kind of the same thing. So I ordered that set from her. It's just fun to have all the pretties, right, that go with our stitching. I love that so much. And then one other thing I bought from Liz when I was at Stitchery Nook was she had these displayed. And these are these Wonderland crafts. They're from overseas, and they're on wood, but they're beaded. And this one was finished and on display. And you know what? There's nothing that will get you more than a display. And so I thought that was beautiful too. Whoops. Oh, I dropped one. I don't want to lose that. Okay, guys, that's my haul. I goofed you guys on my stitchy kindness. I showed you this beautiful card, and I was talking about Rhonda. Rhonda is the person who did the picture. The card is from Kathleen. with a beautiful note inside. And I'm so sorry I got that wrong, but I'm fixing it. So inserting this somewhere. And then just a lovely verse, a little quote on the back. So anyway, I just thank you so much for that, Kathleen. I really appreciated your help and your assistance and the beautiful note and card. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, then I think oh, one more thing. My Roxy Floss Co. order came. I'm in their linen, oh, that was really loud. I'm in their Floss Club, and I get like 10 or 11 flosses this comes every month. And I'm in their traditional one, which means all of these can be reproduced. And so these were the colors that I received this month. Sampler colors, don't you think? I know some people for their plans are gonna do like samplers for the month of July. There was kind of a catchy name that went with that. What was that? Sampler something. Because I know they do sampler September. But I'm gonna do, so now we'll go into my plans. I plan to do patriotic for the month of July, along with, so I'm gonna do more of my Let Freedom Ring. And then I have a couple of other things that I do want to tackle a little bit in between. It's always good to have, I think, a couple of, I gotta stretch my leg. It's good to have a couple smalls that you can, when you do samplers over and over and over, and it sometimes doesn't feel like you're making much progress, it's just good to have a small that you can insert here and there to see progress or to maybe even get finished. So I have a couple of smalls. I found this one on Samplers and Primitives. It's called Liberty. And I think I might be starting that one soon. And I've always wanted to do my Patriotic Tiny Town. And now I lost my other one. It was just here. Where'd it go? So I have a B-skep that these fit around. And so I don't have, right now I still have my spring one up. I've only ever done a Thanksgiving one and a spring one. So I want to do Valentine's, I want to do a Christmas, and I want to do this 4th of July. So that's one. And I just lost one of my patterns. It was here 2 seconds ago. Okay. And then the other thing that I have kitted up, and I've had it kitted up for a while, is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. And I may start that one as well. I don't know, with Let Freedom Ring, that's such a big one. I may hold off on starting this one, but I'm leaning toward maybe starting that one too. And then another one of you guys gave me just the best advice. And I'm also looking for the Nativity. That was the other one I wanted to start. And I know I had the pattern pulled and I don't see it. It slid off somewhere. So I wanted to do the Nativity too. These are the colors that came from, no, those are not it. I think they're still in here. These are the colors that came from Remember Me. And I know I must have gushed and gushed over how much I love the colors. They're a hot mess. The colors are so, so pretty. And when I was talking about doing that swan sampler, one of the girls suggested, one of you guys suggested, why not try doing the swan sampler in this colorway since you know you love it already? And I like that idea. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I'm keeping this color palette out and I'm keeping it in the bag that my friend made me. Beth made me this for my birthday. It's so pretty. And so I'm going to keep that, and I might try to incorporate that. It's kind of percolating in my head. So, okay. I think that's it, you guys. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to work on. When I was out thrifting this week, I found a frame that I think might be absolutely perfect for this stitch. It's by Canicus Prims and Whims. And it's done on the background of Amazing Grace. So the fabric actually has Amazing Grace printed on it. I don't think this is available anymore. And I just realized I think I put that one on scroll rods and so it's not in here. So let me go grab that a minute and show it to you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry that took a minute or two, a hot minute. This is what I've done so far on it, and I just really do love this. And when I found that frame that I thought would work really well on it, it made me want to get it back out and stitch on it again. So I think this is going to go into my plans for this next month. Put a few more stitches in it, because I do really, really love that one too. So, okay. Then I think that leaves me with just two more things. Two of them are giveaways. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm celebrating my 2-year anniversary for Flosstube. I think I started earlier in June, but since I didn't make a video earlier in June, I thought I would just celebrate it now. So 2 years, and you guys have encouraged me to keep going, so I think I will. Because I do really love you, and I love our interactions. I love when you comment. I read everything. I try to reply to everybody. If you ever have a question about something, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram also as b.a.blessingstitcher. That's a really easy way to get hold of me, is through the messaging there. I have an email. I don't always see those as quick, especially also on Amazon. I don't see those as quick. Amazon. Email or Facebook. Oh my stars. I had a message pop up on my screen. Totally threw my thought process off. Whew, doesn't take much. So anyway, on Facebook, I don't always see those very quick either. I don't get on Facebook as much. So I see Instagram quicker, and I usually see emails. So I usually check those two things daily. Facebook, it sometimes is like once every 2 or 3 days, maybe sometimes once a week. Just depends. So anyway, I have winners from last time, and I took pictures of them so that I could remember who are the winners, if I can get my phone to behave. So the first picture is the winner of my 2 hands-on designs season patterns. I called them seasons. That was the word that you had to use. It was summer and harvest. And these were donated by my wonderful friend Renee. And the winner on that one is Karen Bowman 6090, and her comment, I'll just put it up here. If this is you, Karen, you are the winner of seasons. Please either get in touch with me either by email, or you can do it by Instagram message. I'll need to have your address so I can physically mail those out to you. And I'm pretty sure I said everybody had to be over the age of 18, so I could ask for that. So if you want to get in touch with me, I will ship those out to you just as soon as I have your info. And then the second winner was the one that won the unicorn pattern by Counting Puddles. And this one is at Stitcher Baker. And so if that is your comment, you are the winner of this along with my fabric. So again, get in touch with me either by email or on Instagram, and I will get those shipped out to you as well. And then to celebrate my 2-year anniversary, of course I have to do another giveaway. Hi puppy. Don't lick. Don't lick. Yes, I love you too. I am going to give away another wonderful gift from Renee, my friend. Which is all 12 of these patterns from Stitching with the Housewives Let's Go Ride a Bike series. It's all 12 of the patterns, and one of them actually even has floss in the back. So all 12 of those gets to go to one winner, and I think what we should use for the word on this one is bike. B-I-K-E, bike, if you want to win those, okay? All right, I think that is almost everything that I wanted to share with you except for my blessing moment, so I'll be right back with that. I did actually forget one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was other floss tubers. I always kind of forget to go through this section, so I just wanted to tuck it in here on the end. Some of the different floss tubers that I've watched lately is Mud Creek Stitcher and her friend Lori. I think Lori did a finish on Come Into My Garden recently that was beautiful. I love to watch Helen D. She is always full of great advice on how to finish things. And one of the last ones, she talked about Art to Frame, which is a website where you can order frames custom sized for a fraction of what it would cost for you to order it in a store. Another one is Mrs. Smith Stitches, Alana. She right now is doing something unique. She's pulling 4 to 5 projects that are close to being finished, and she's stitching them monogamously until each one is finished. I don't know if I could do that. I kind of did that with Remember Me. I really stitched on that a good couple of weeks before I got it finished. So when I get really close to the end of something, I can do that, but it's hard to spend 2 full weeks on just one project for me. I have a tendency to lose interest, lose my attention span. Is that what they call it? Lose my attention span. Another one I just watched was Crosshatch Quilts Christy. They had a scare. Kyle had a heart attack, her husband Kyle, in the middle of a wonderful celebration. Her son was getting married, and changed their lives quite a bit. So I think they could definitely use some prayers and hugs from you guys, just some good thoughts and stuff sent her way. So yeah, just keep her in your thoughts over the next little while as they adjust to some big changes that I think are going to have to go through in this it's a hard road. So thankful that God spared Kyle's life, but yeah, they've got some challenges I think yet ahead. So they've worked through a lot of them, but anyway, just keep her in your thoughts if you would, guys. Thoughts and prayers. I always love to watch Contented Needleworker Kim. She's amazing at picking parts of a sampler out and stitching just the parts that she loves. I always think that's so brave. I don't know that I'm such a kind of a rule follower, sort of, that it'd be hard for me to not stitch the whole thing. But I love how she does that. The Red Cross Stitcher Beth, of course, my good friend, and then another person I've been following is Darlene Dion Designs. She has some really cute house series that she's doing that I think are adorable. So go check her out if you have a chance. I've been enjoying watching Heidi at Whips and Kits. And then along with that, Shady Grove Stitcher and her friend Carrie from Red Velvet Quilts. Carrie has made a few beautiful project bags where she threw them on the long arm and quilted them in a beautiful pattern. I even reached out to her and I'm like, fingers crossed, did you do this on a machine? Nope, she did them on her long arm, which I don't have and I have no intention of having. I don't have room for one. She's like, no, I threw this on the long arm. So I was like, I love them so much and I want to recreate that, but yeah, that will be a challenge to do on just a machine. So anyway, go check her out as well. So those were just a few of the ones that I wanted to mention and have you guys go check out, because they've been a blessing to me. So, and then I found, of course I lost it just as quick as I found it, a little message that I had from Susie Larson. Do you guys, any of you follow Susie Larson on Instagram? She has some, I think, always some wonderful thoughts, prayers, encouragement, scripture. So the one I'm looking at right now that I read a few days back was from Matthew 6, verse 25, and it says, "That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life. Whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear, isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing?" And her message was, may you see the wisdom and power of entrusting your cares to God. When you bow low, He rises up. He will deliver, defend, and establish you. In the meantime, may you learn to rest in His care, trust in His word, and embrace a joy-filled life. Jesus knows your name, has your address, and loves you right here, right now. He will get you where you need to go. He will reach out to the ones you love. He will validate and vindicate you at the proper time. May you see and believe that you're safest when you're at His feet, trusting Him to do what you cannot do for yourself. May your soul find rest in Him today. So that's my little blessing moment, guys, and I just wanted to remind you to be kind. Reach out to a friend if you haven't touched base in a while. You never know that they might just really need you at that moment. And then always to choose joy, you guys. All day, every day, choose joy. I love you. We'll see you next time.